while in the long run, and that freedom comes down the road. Anybody who is listening to this story, there have to be some questions that come up, where you move to a new area, you're very quickly buying 4 to 5 houses a month and holding half of them. I mean, one, how are you sourcing these houses? Two, how are you funding the houses?
It was a
That's
process.
a large scale for both of those, really.
Well, I started in 2011. I wouldn't say that I was really buying that many houses until maybe 2013, right? It took me a couple of years I went with the idea I was going to buy one a year, and then it was like twice a year, and then one a quarter, and one a month, and then one a week, because I kind of went through that stage.
Okay.
Um, I was a, I was a direct mail guy, and I mean, that was in the back of the day of, yellow
Yellow letters.
Yellow Letters, thank you. Yellow Letters was, that really dates me, but it was the Yellow Letters.
Yeah.
And I spent, I mean, like $10,000 a month, which was a lot back then, on my marketing. And we did mailers because I wasn't good at the other forms of lead generation. I'm a Gen Xer, I got a bunch of gray hair, so texting is not really my thing. Um, I'm also a one-man show. I have a bunch of VAs, but in locally, I'm a one-man show, which meant that I'm out on an appointment or I'm looking at a job site, so I couldn't answer the phone right away. And so like pay-per-click and things like that, where you have to be very responsive. And these were the days before all the education. Like the internet really wasn't as powerful then as it is now. And we entrepreneurs, we kind of had to learn it on our own. And I was very much a lone wolf for a long time.
And was there a target market? Not, I mean, I know your region, but was there a certain customer you were sending that direct mail to? Or were
Well,
you
by the time we got to the full,
foreclosure or some other distress?
yeah, so we would send out about 20,000 mailers a month. And so we certainly had a very broad categories that we would send to. I would tell you that by far the most profitable ones were always the pre-foreclosure market. I was in that pretty heavily. I would say that was a statistically significant part of my business was the pre-foreclosures, and of course tax sales as well. At the beginning, like 2011 through like 14 or so, you could buy houses on the courthouse steps at a reasonable price still. So you can't really do that now. They're just bid up so much and overvalued. It's hard to do that. But yeah, I mean, I was, my goal, that it was a foolish goal, and I'll tell you, I never achieved it, but I always wanted to buy 10 per month. Like that was just my mental. I chose that number. I don't know why I chose it. It wasn't a good decision. I should have like chosen something of like profit or happiness or like, so it certainly caused some issues along the way, but so I was always kind of expanding that region, but I did early on decide that I wanted to only buy things that I could go and touch and feel. And so I did try to venture outside my market a couple times, but I made mistakes and it cost me money. And ultimately, I decided to stay very local. So within an hour to an hour and a half, the center of Richmond, Virginia is kind
Okay.
of my ground.
Yeah. What is it about entrepreneurs that always get sucked into the big numbers,
Yeah, I
and not
know, right?
necessarily the result, because your time freedom and 10 houses per month are, I'm guessing, opposed to each other. You're gonna have
Oh,
to work
yeah.
a lot.
At the
Um,
beginning, it was certainly 60, 70, 80 hours a week. You get into owning your business for freedom, but if you want to be successful, there's not a lot of freedom at the beginning.
that's for sure. Yeah.
And
While in the long run, and that freedom comes down the road.